Alright guys, welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 walkthrough, Indiana Jones style. In the last episode we beat the demon and we got the soul of the demon. Now we're going to reap our rewards, the demon fists. This weapon is uber awesome, guys. It can pretty much carry you through the game, especially if an enemy is weak to fire, and it costs 0 souls. How generous of you. Now, let's go ahead and level it up to +4. We don't have a slab, so we can't go it all the way, but we're going to take it to +4. And at this stage of the game, that's not even fair. So we'll be very powerful when it comes to anything that's weak to fire. This will pretty much trump our dagger for a while, unless we need to move quickly through a swamp or something. Now we're just going to buy some blooming moss because we're going to need it coming up anyway. That's why we're going for the excrement ashes, because when we get to the DLC, there's going to be a boss that toxics you pretty easily, and there's no way to cure it in the middle of a fight. So we definitely want to have an infinite amount of that. Alright guys, we got to backtrack a little bit because I forgot to get the item off the Mimic last episode. When the Mimic was fighting the demon, I was just too preoccupied with killing the skeletons that I forgot about the black blade that it drops. It's a katana, so it's pretty cool to have. And if you don't like Chaos Blade, you can use this as an alternative. I just can't get away from Chaos Blade for some reason. Now, for our next objective, we have to deal with the ballast from up top. It's a pain in the ass to deal with. There's really no way to dodge it in the middle of the open field, and you're going to get hit regardless, it seems. But we have some items we have to get in the Smouldering Lake. In addition, we're also going to kill Horus, Anri's companion. Unfortunately, he's went hollow, so we got to put him out of his misery. Now let's go back to the Demon Ruins bonfire and get ready for this encounter with Horus. Now I like to use the Demon Fist in conjunction with the Night Slayer's ring that we got from our first encounter with Night Slayer Sorig. It's going to completely trivialize this fight. Make sure you de-equip everything else though, because you don't want to be fat rolling through the lake trying to dodge the ballista as well. Now we're going to start on the left side of the lake because we want to get a ring that's behind a wall, but we need the ballista's assistance in order to retrieve it. As long as you're watching the ballista, you can dodge the projectiles with moderate success, but it's not 100% guaranteed. As you can see, you can do it right here. If you kind of got a feeling of where it's firing, there is the wall that we need to break. So we're just going to stand in front of it and bait the ballista to fire at us, then we can dodge quickly out of the way. This will open the way to the speckled stone plate ring. It will give you like 5% extra resistances towards various elements. Fire is one of them, and we're going to use that to stack with our fire plate ring to get even more damage resistance, because we're definitely going to need it for the rest of the game in certain situations. You see I'm getting pretty good at dodging these projectiles. Just kind of wait till the last second. And we want to bait. You don't want to fall down here, but you want to bait it to fire relatively close. But yeah, if you fall down there, we're not going to be able to get to Horus, and we'll just have to go back to the bonfire, and we don't want to do that. And we want to make our way across the lake now and find a cave across the way that leads to Horus. I don't know how in the hell that thing hit me. But there's the cave right ahead. There's a couple crystal lizards in here that you want to take out as well. One has a chunk, so you definitely want to take it out. That'll allow us to get our arbalest to +9. This early in the game is magnificent. But this first one has some twinkling. But this next one is kind of hard to hit sometimes. I like to block its path because it likes to run into the area with Horus, and I don't want it to go that far. Sometimes it can glitch through the wall too, so you gotta be careful. Now for Horus. Make sure you're using the Demon Fist with both hands so that you can use your left bumper to unleash a fury of blows constantly in his direction. He won't be able to do anything, pretty much. Just keep using the left bumper. You might get hit once or twice, but that's going to be it. If you just keep using left bumper, he's going to be dead in seconds. It's too bad he wasn't using his shield at the time. We could have broke through his guard and just done a repost. He'll drop his shield, Make sure you get all the items in this little area. Some shards. And some yellow bug pellets, which we'll use against the Nameless King later. Now we're going to go to the Demon Ruins. This is an optional area, but we definitely want to go down there because it has some good items like an Undead Bone Shard, an Estus Shard, Chaos Gem. It's got a lot of stuff we want, so we're going to go down there. Now you have two options when entering the Demon Ruins. You can either go back to the Demon Ruins bonfire, or you could go through the shortcut that was opened up by the ballista. Well, we're going to go through the shortcut. Now, if you do go through the bonfire entrance, you will have the added option to summon Nightslayer Sorg to go with you, but it's just not worth it in my opinion. I like going through the shortcut because it's a lot closer to the items and the next bonfire. But it is interesting to summon Nightslayer Sorg because you could actually have him fight himself, which is kind of funny, because we are going to fight him again. Now, the first thing on our agenda, we want to get the Chaos Gem from the Crystal Lizard that's just around the corner here. Take the longer path and turn left, and he's right there with nowhere to go. Now, this will eventually replace our Bandit's Knife infusion, but not until we get till Anne Orlando, which is going to be a while. Now, the next item we want to get is a Pyromancy Tome that is guarded by 3 enemies in a room. But before we can even get to the room, we have to deal with another enemy. And this guy, he will summon fireballs to act as turrets. And it's very annoying. So I like to take these guys out as fast as possible. So Chaos Blade for the win. But here, as you enter, there's going to be an enemy on each side flanking you. I like to take out the guy on the left because he has a shield. And just deal with the others. The other guy has poison that he'll spew at you in the middle, so be careful of that. And it will toxic you. Another reason we got the blooming purple moss. If you do get toxic, though, it's not a problem because the bonfire is right there around the corner. You're just going to go straight and to the right, and it's right there. So it really doesn't matter at this point. Now we're going to rest at the bonfire here, and then we're going to go get the Estus Shard. We'll be coming back to this area multiple times, though, to do runs. So there's an illusionary wall in the corner of the room here. And you'll want to take the first left. And don't worry about these guys, just run through. You'll have to deal with them on your way back, but you get through them pretty quick without them having to spew fire at you. Now, this area is dangerous. There's a lot of these fire guys. I like to just drop down and get to the entrance over here as fast as possible. Just roll it all the way. And get Chaos Blade out and try to plunge attack the rat here, which I did not do. But you can plunge attack the rat, the mama rat here, and then turn around and use your whip on the rest of the rats. Because there's a bunch of them behind you. But with the whip, you can definitely take them out very easily. Now, we'll be coming back to this area shortly, but we want to go ahead and get the next Pyromancy Tome, which is nearby. So we're going to go up these stairs here and take the first left. And there's some rats in this room as well. Make sure you dispose of them. There's an illusionary wall that will lead to the Pyromancy Tome right here. This will be the last Pyromancy Tome for this area. Now, to get back quickly, we're just going to fall down the hole here. Now, be careful. Sometimes those enemies can follow you down, as you'll see right here. One of them follows me. I don't know where he came from, but he just followed me. There's an illusionary wall I was looking for, and he interrupted me, so we got to take him out. And there's the turret. Like I said, he'll summon those fireballs as a turret. And it's very annoying. I shouldn't have been using the whip here. I should have went Chaos Blade, because these guys, you need to kill them quick. And then I'm just beating him with my fists. But yeah, you want to get the illusionary wall as you drop down. It's right here somewhere, right here. And there's another illusionary wall behind this chest. Now get your Chaos Blade out and plunge attack the two basilisks down here. If you angle yourself, you should be able to take them both out with one plunge, like this. There's several more basilisks in this area, so you'll definitely want to keep an eye on your curse meter, because they can fill up that bar quite quickly. Now, our second encounter with Night Slayer Sorig will commence. I like to use the sword ring here because it's going to give us extra damage, and we're going to use the whip exclusively. Double hand the whip, and keep your distance from this guy because his attacks are extremely damaging, but they are slow. So we're going to use that to our advantage and just charge our whip from a distance, and we should take him out relatively easy. I recommend locking on and just get far enough away, out of the range of his sword, and just about like this. And try, if you see him charging up, just back up some more and charge a whip. That'll give you time to charge a whip if he's rearing up a big attack. But he's not going to last long with this charged up attack here. And he's done. You'll get the Fume Ultra Greatsword from Dark Souls 2. Now we're going to go turn off the ballista. But in order to get there, we have to go through some enemies. The first being a Black Knight. He's got a Black Knight Greatsword, and he hits really hard. We're going to treat him just like Night Slayer Sorig. So we're going to double hand the whip, but first we want to bait him towards us. And then we'll use the whip and do the same thing we did with Night Slayer Sorig. When he does his attacks, we'll just hit him with the double-handed R2s. And if you can charge it up, like sometimes you'll get a hit, but he won't last too long with these charged up attacks. Now, the only thing standing between us and the ballista are some bone wheel skeletons, some regular skeletons, and those pain-in-the-ass matrix skeletons. There's 2 of them we got to kill. And then we'll be safe to turn off the ballista. Then we can go kill the old Demon King and get our spotted whip. Now, after you climb the second ladder, there'll be a hidden item off to the right. Well, it's not really hidden. You kind of see it in your peripheral vision. It's the Dragon Rider bow from Dark Souls 2. So if you want that, make sure you get it here. But if you pan the camera to the right, you can kind of see it once you start climbing the second ladder. Right there. And you'll just have to drop off to get it. Now, bear in mind, you're not going to be completely safe when you get up this ladder. The ballista can still hit you, and the game even gives you this wall that makes you think, oh, I can just hide behind. So just make your way past the first part of this area and get ready for the bone wheel skeletons. Yeah, right here, this wall, it's not safe. If you stand behind it thinking it's safe, this is going to happen. So, yeah. You're still under attack. Once you get down here, though, you're safe from the ballista because of the cover. But there's going to be some bone wheel skeletons coming up, and I just like to shoot them. But they break apart pretty easily with your whip. It only takes a few hits. And remember, these are severely nerfed. Like I said, these are not like they used to be. I can't imagine if they would have thrown in the Dark Souls 1 bone wheel skeletons in the catacombs. That would have been a terrible fate for the player. So just take out these and get ready for the next group of enemies, which will be a few skeletons, and then we'll have to take on the matrix skeletons before we can get to the ballista and shut it off. But these are not respawning skeletons, so you don't have to worry about using your blessed weapon. They have shields, but they're very weak shields. You can just shoot them from distance. But the whip is good too. Now for the matrix skeletons. Try not to aggro both of them at the same time on you. Lure one to you and stay away out of sight, out of the other one's line of sight, so you don't have both of them on you at the same time. But if you double hand the whip, you can take them out from a pretty safe distance. But I tell you, if you get them both on you, you're going to have a bad time probably. Just one more. Then we can get to the ballista finally. Then you'll be free to loot the entire lake of all the large Titanite shards that are in the area, but I've already farmed for most of them, and I'm going to need for the whole playthrough, so. Probably did a little excessive amount of it. But yeah, double hand the whip should be good. Now the ballista. This large monstrosity here can finally be shut off. And we can rest easy knowing that we can just go through the whole lake and loot it completely. We'll have to deal with the crabs though. There's some crabs down there that are pretty powerful. Don't underestimate. I try to avoid them, to be honest. Just push it and you're done. No more ballista, thank God. Now, like I said before, this is not a 100% walkthrough, but if I do know there is an item in the area, we're just going to get it. And in this case, it's a Black Knight sword, and it's hidden behind an illusionary wall, and we're going to just go get it right now. I really did like the Black Knight weaponry in Dark Souls 1. Didn't use it in Dark Souls 2, though. Right here, you got to go back to this death room, I like to call it. And you'll need to go this direction. I don't bother fighting these guys, just run towards the opening on the left. Try to take cover if you have to. They are relentless with their fire. And the illusionary wall is just right in front of you. Now take care, there is a Black Knight in here, but he's too busy fighting the grooves. You can get a lot of free hits in on him. And the Black Knight sword is right here. Now we're going to go get one more item that I forgot to get before, and that is the Undead Bone Shard. In the same death room, we have to do another run. But first we're going to go back to Firelink and give Andre our Estus shard so that we can get our Estus total to 12. We're going to be very well equipped for the DLC with that many flasks. There's only 15, so we only have 3 more to go. And there's only 10 Undead Bone Shards, and we're about to get that to 7. So we're really going to be looking good for the challenges ahead, especially in the DLCs. The Ring City is no joke. The enemies are very powerful, and so are the enemies in the Ashes of Ariandel. So we're going to go back to the same bonfire we were at. We're doing our runs. And this time we're going to go to the opposite side, and we're going to go into the very end, and we're going to get the Undead Bone Shard. Now there is a little thing on the ceiling that will fall on your head, so I'd like to just bait it out and then roll back. You'll see it coming up. So when you get here again, just drop down, head to the right, the shorter path. And just do a quick roll here and then roll back so they won't fall on your head, and you're good. Now we can go take on the old Demon King. Now, before taking on the old Demon King, make sure you are embered, because you are going to have to use a summon if you want the Spotted Whip, and they must survive the encounter. She's not that particularly powerful, so you're going to have to do most of the damage. However, she is a good distraction. Now, for the build here, we're going to use the Chaos Blade for this fight, and we need to stack on fire defense. So the Speckled Ring and the Fire Stone Plate Ring, we definitely want both of them. This will give you the maximum amount of fire resistance, plus the red bug pellets. On top of that, will ensure that the fire will not hurt you nearly as badly as it would have. Now, as far as the strategy goes for this boss, I just tank it really, because it's kind of, you're on a time limit because you really don't want your NPC to die, and you want to do as much damage as possible. So I just kind of get right up in his face with the Chaos Blade. Now, it's kind of a safe spot under, it kind of treat him just like Osiris when you got close to his right leg and just keep wailing on him. But he will do AoE attacks, which are very powerful, and during his second phase he'll do more damage, and he has this ring of fire that But we're not even going to have that. We're not even going to get that far because we're going to kill him before he does that, which is a good thing. But like I said, it's best to just go in guns blazing and tanking. So we're going to eat the red bug pellet before entering, and we're just going to go ham on him. We're not going to give him any kind of chances. You don't want to have this fight linger too long because, like I said, the NPC won't last forever. Now, the closer you get to his legs, there's like a safe spot from his hammer. Not right there, but you'll see it in a second. Just stay on his right leg as much as possible. Once the NPC has drawn aggro, that gives you a few shots there. Right there, you see how I'm kind of safe? Well, not there. It's kind of a crapshoot. I really didn't understand this pattern. I just, like right there, you see I didn't get hit there either. But the distraction from the NPC is going to be pretty good too. And just try to bleed him out as fast as possible. Just keep wailing on him. The NPC will give you that time. You can hit his tail as well. Once he's stunned, you can go in for some more hits. And he's pretty much about to do an AoE attack. And then he's done after that because he doesn't fight anymore after the 10% of his health. Under 10% of his health, he's not going to fight you anymore. So you can finish him off, and that's it. We shortened the duration of this fight, but it was necessary. Now we got to go back to the Undead Settlement and claim our prize. Now, like I said before, the spotted whip is not particularly great. It's definitely not as good as it was in Dark Souls 2. Now, the reason being is because poison and bleed apparently are tied to another stat in this game called luck, which we did not invest in. And I really don't even understand how it works yet. But in order to be good at poison and bleed, you have to have some investment in luck. I know it also increases item discovery, but we didn't invest in luck in this build. But apparently, if you want to do poison in this game, which is not recommended because it is not very good, apparently. But we are an Indiana Jones build, so we want the whip anyway. I might tinker with it later in the New Game Plus cycles or something. Invest in luck, but for this playthrough, we're not going to use it at all. In fact, the only whip we're really going to use is the one we have, the Sharp Whip plus 10. In Dark Souls 2, I was able to do more experimentation with the whips because they were viable. They were pretty good for certain situations, but not in this game. Because, like I said, the Thorn Whip uses bleed, and the Poison Whip uses poison, but it's just not very good. Not as good as the whip we got. Now we're continuing to work on our dexterity. Our goal was 45 before the DLC. And we did reach that goal. By the end of this episode, we will have 45 dexterity. So we did hit that goal. And the next stat we're going to invest in will be Faith. Now we're just going to pop a few more souls here because we want to get our dexterity to 43. And then we're going to go take on High Lord Wolnir. A very easy boss, I must say. And then we're going to go to the Irithyll Valley. As far as the strategy for this boss goes, it's quite simple. We're just going to use the whip with the sword ring, go in with extra damage, and hit the bracelet on his right hand, our left side, and then we're going to go to the other side and destroy the other two bracelets, and that's it. Now, it's kind of hard to hit the bracelets sometimes, and he does have some fog that will come up and it'll damage you quite badly, and you'll see that because I get hit by a few puffs of it. And then he'll summon skeletons the longer the fight lingers, so you don't want it to linger too far. And to be honest, this fight shouldn't take very long, regardless of your build, because it's a very easy boss. And that's it. You just destroy the bracelets. There won't be any other thing to do, really. Now we're just going to make our way back to that one area where we talked to Henri, except this time we're going to go across the bridge and continue the way forward so that we can trigger the boss fight. Make sure you take out the rats because they seem to never lose aggro in this game. And as far as this matrix skeleton goes, this is a better demonstration of how to deal with it. You just keep wailing on it, don't give it a chance. The whip will stun it momentarily, just keep going. I'm not even going to fight this next guy. We're just going to run. We're running from here on out. I've never actually taken out all these skeletons before, but I don't even know how many there are, but there's so many of them. It's like an army of skeletons that come in right here. I do like to cut the bridge down and see them fall to their death. And there they go. Final prep. We're just going to make sure we have the shield ring. That's the most important one. The shield ring, just to do more damage, but you have to be topped off on our health. Just get the item. It's a pyromancy tome. And just go to town on this one right here. Now, I shouldn't have stayed between his fingers right here. I kind of made a mistake. You can still do damage to the boss, but you're not going to... Yeah, you want to take out the bracelet like that. And then go to the other side and rinse and repeat. Now, these can be a pain to get sometimes. And watch out for the fog, like I said. The mist will hurt you. And, of course, the skeletons that if you take your time... If you just get right next to the bracelet, you should take it out in one hit like I just did. But I was struggling trying to hit it. Really, the hardest part of this fight is just hitting the bracelet. Just getting a solid hit on the bracelet is the hardest thing because he moves around and he slaps. He tries to do the slap move here, but it's easily avoided. It's got a long wind up. But like I say, if you can just get the hit, that's the key. Just get the hit and it's over. One solid shot with a whip, if you do manage to hit it like that, it's over. And that's it. I'm sure there are better weapons I probably could have used, but I thought the whip with its sweeping attack would be better. And it still did a good job, it just, you gotta hit it. That's the key. Now, very important, we want to continue Cyrus's quest, and we have to do something right off the bat here. Once we kill the creature on the bridge, which we will see right away, we'll get a ring called the Right Pontus Eye, which is very useful actually because it increases our attack the longer it goes on. Something we can combine with the sword ring. As long as we're at full health, we'll get the benefit of both. Now we want to level up our dexterity to 44. And if you don't have any undead charms, go to the Handmaiden and buy a couple because we're going to need them coming up for Creighton. He is the NPC from Dark Souls 2, you might remember. But he's going to invade us once, and we're going to help Cyrus kill him in the first encounter. So the best way to make this fight easy is to make sure he can't heal, because he heals 3 times with Estus, and we don't want him to do that. So our strategy is get him down to like half health and throw an undead charm at him, and he can't do anything. We can finish him off very quickly. Alright, finally we're going to start using the Demon Fist. We're going to see the awesome power it has by taking out this creature on the bridge. But first, let's take in this beautiful view of the Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. One of the most striking views of Dark Souls, I must say, in the series. There's Anor Londo on the left there. Now, for this creature, we're going to use the Demon Fist combined with the Fire Clutch Ring. It'll give us a little bit more fire damage, although we'll take more damage using it. And we're going to use the Sword Ring, so let's go ahead and make sure we de-equip everything but the Demon Fist. It's kind of heavy. It's like 5 pounds. We don't want to be fat rolling, so this creature will not last long with our flurry of blows from the Demon Fist. But you can't get too overconfident. It can hit you pretty hard, and your health bar will deplete pretty quickly. So just run around, turn around here after you see the message. Get a few pop shots in and get roll behind him. Get a few more shots in. You have to time your dodges pretty quickly because he doesn't give you much time. And you'll get the Pontiff's Right Eye. We're going to use this in the next encounter. In order to trigger said encounter, we're going to go ahead and equip it now, actually. It's going to come in handy against Creighton. And the Hornet Ring, just in case we can get a repost on him, but I don't think we got one on him in this time. And we want to make sure we have our Undead Charms because, like I said before, the strategy is to not let him heal. But in order to trigger this encounter, you have to go to the bonfire first and then come back. That's all you have to do. You don't have to reset the game or anything. Just go to this bonfire, rest at it, come back. This will also trigger the next stage in Grey Rat's quest. He'll want to pillage Irithyll, but don't do it just yet. You can't even enter this area unless you have the doll that you got from killing the Deacons of the Deep. That's what that barrier is for. But just go back to where the message on the ground was, and there'll be another sign right here. And you'll go help Cyrus. Sometimes you might be able to get a quick backstab in as you're just getting in there, because his attention's focused on Cyrus at first. But like I said, don't take his health down too far, because you want to make sure you throw the Undead Hunter Charm at him before he starts to try to heal. Just watch his health bar. 1 hit, 2 hits, 3. That's good enough. Now make sure you hit him with the charm. Now he can't heal. He's pretty much screwed. Now we're going to use our special attack. Now this is an awesome attack, guys. Once he's reeling from that, we're just going to wail on him. And with Pontiff's right eye, our damage is just going to keep going up, and he's done. Before we do anything else, we're going back to Firelink to get our prize. The cat ring. Well, you'll get another weapon, but it's a blessed weapon when we don't need it. But the cat ring is what we want. It's the only way to get the cat ring in the game, so you have to do this part of the quest. Now, if you saved Sigurd from the well, you could go ahead and let Grey Rat go ahead and pillage the Irithyll Valley, but I don't recommend it, because we're not going to be doing this part right now. We'll get the cat ring. Now, if you haven't upgraded your Arbalist to +9, do that as well. And sometimes, like I said, the way I did my grinding, I got maybe a few more chunks than maybe you had. I recommend just going back into the the untended graves and farming until you get enough. You really want your Arbalist to be as high as possible before going into the DLC, which is coming up next episode, so I really recommend doing it. Now, for the next couple of enemies that are new, we're going to use the Horse Ring for the shielded enemies. They're very aggressive. Very, very aggressive with their attacks. They just keep going and going and going. They're like the damn Energizer Bunny. You're wondering whenever they're going to stop slashing at you. So, I like to just kick the ones with the shield and do a quick repost and get rid of them immediately. But for this first encounter, there are 3 of them. Let's take this one step at a time here. These guys are no joke. Even at our level, they'll still kill us very quickly. There's going to be one that walks just behind this other guy. We won't aggro him first. He doesn't have a shield. They'll shoot some pursuers at you. But here's the example of how they just keep going. Well, he didn't go too far. But we're just going to shoot this guy from distance with the added addition of the sword ring equipped. We're going to get extra damage. Now there's another guy off to the right that you can't see. So we go to the left here and we kind of can see him off to the right. You don't want to aggro the guy with the shield and him at the same time. We really just want the shielded guy to come to us first. But if we go too far up, he's going to flank us from this right side there, and we got to deal with 2 enemies at the same time. Not fun. But here we go. 1, 2, 3. Look at me. They just keep going. 1 kick, and it's over. I recommend getting good at kicks in this game for some of these enemies. It'll just make your life so much easier. Now we can take out this other guy. There's another enemy coming up that's very annoying, guys. Very annoying. and it's like a witch or something, and he can just fire at you. Here, look at this. Look at this. Just keep going. Like, they never seem to stop sometimes. Like I said, the ones with the shields, just take them out with the kick and the horse ring if you can. Or you could alternatively use the demon fist and just use the Pontiff's right eye and the Night Slayer's ring and break the poise that way. Alright, let's go meet a couple more new enemies in the Irithyll Valley. The first being these grunt type enemies. They're not a problem to deal with. A fully charged up whip will take them out in one shot, but if you don't fully charge your whip, it'll take 2 shots. But make sure to take them all out before dealing with the witch. You want all of your attention and spacing to be focused on the witch. You don't want to be dealing with any more enemies because this guy requires all of your attention. He's got a flaming staff that he can use as a flamethrower, or he can do his other attack, which is he points his staff at the ground like that, and there's a flaming geyser that will appear at your feet. And he'll also use a trail of fire as well, like a ground attack. I think that's the one I hate the most, actually. But just use Arbalest from a distance. It's just better that way, because we don't want to have to fight those other enemies at the same time. And once he's dead, we can take out the grunts. But take care, there is another witch directly in front of us and to the right, up top. Now, we're not going to be able to kill him from here. Our Arbalest will not have enough damage. But there he is. Best thing to do here is take out the grunts first, and then make our way to him and just melee him from up close. But you have to be careful here because there's some more of those knights that are patrolling, and you might draw their aggro, and if you do that, you're going to be in trouble because you got these grunts coming at you, you got the witch constantly attacking you, and then you're going to have to deal with the knights too. No, not fun. So we want to make sure there they are right there. Don't draw their aggro. Try not to draw their aggro. That's what we're trying to run back so we don't get their aggro, but apparently we wasted too much time. But with Chaos Blade, we're just going to go in and guns a-blazing. And now we can deal with the knights. He didn't follow me up here, surprisingly. I thought he would. Fortunately, you're going to fight both of them, it looks like. Oh, the other guy's going to back off. These guys are very powerful. Still, like I said, even with our level, they can kill us pretty quick. Don't take them for granted. Now, guy with a shield, we want to try to kick him if we can. Again, I'm not good at kicks, but it's worth the effort if you can do it. Let's try it again. There we go. Now we're coming up to a crystal lizard here, and an invisible, like a stairwell, illusionary stairwell. There's another knight down here, and kind of got my butt wrecked by him. Don't know what happened there. This is just another example of how don't take these guys for granted. They have a flurry of attacks. They just keep going and going. But the whip, if you can get a whip shot on them, you can stun them over and over like that. As long as they don't have a shield. There's a little hidden area down here, and there's like an evangelist that we can kill to get an item. And we can unlock the door that led to him. A little more beefed up health than the other ones. Just scaled for this area. You'll get that blood spell that they've always used against you. Now we're going to make our way to the church. Now this is a crossroads, guys. This is going to be the end of Anre. She's going to die regardless. Spoiler alert, sorry. So you're going to have to just make peace with it and let her go either way. So if you decide you want her to live a little bit longer, you'll fail Uria's quest, however. And you don't want that to happen. You want the best ending because it gives you the most items. So we can kill the assassin and let her live if you just have a soft spot for her or him. Or you can do the better ending, which is what we're going to do, and we're just going to let her die. But you want to talk to her before you part ways with her. So hit the bonfire here and talk to her and exhaust her dialogue, and you'll get a gesture, I believe. But like I said, she's going to die regardless. You might as well just make peace with it. But right here, if you don't want her to die right away, kill that statue in the corner. It's a chameleon right there. Well, I'm pointing down instead of up. But instead, we're just going to talk to her and basically say our goodbyes. She'll give you the Ring of the Evil Eye as well, but we're going to get a much better version in the Ring City DLC. And that's it. We will not see her alive again at this point, because the assassin is in that corner, and we're just going to let the assassin kill her. Now, because we killed Creighton on the bridge, we're going to get invaded by him shortly, and we want to make sure that we kill him here before we kill Pontiff Sullivan, because if we don't, we will not get his set. If you want his set, that is. Now, there's some invisible enemies here. Like I said, there's variety. Here they are. We're going to go with the similar build we had on the bridge. We're going to use the Undead Hunter Charm. We're going to use Demon Fist. And we're basically not going to give him a chance. There's an Undead Bone Shard in this area as well. Make sure you pick that up. He's going to invade you right here. But we're going to go ahead and kill this enemy quickly before he invades us. Get that Bone Shard for sure. You can do a few things here. You can try to kick him off the cliff if you want to. I haven't really had success with that. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Maybe one more hit, and then we'll throw the Undead Charm at him. Well, it's early. Now we're going to just use our favorite attack. And we're going to spam it on him. He's basically done. Can't do anything. Now, if you want his set, though, he'll give you his sword. But if you want his set, you'll have to go back to the bridge where you fought him the first time and get it. And we'll do that before the end of the episode. But right now, we're not going to bother with it. We will get it, though. Now, the only thing that remains is getting the Excrement Ashes and the Leo Ring. And that's it. And we'll leave and we'll start the DLC. Of course, we're going to get Crichton's set from the bridge, and then we'll end the episode. But we're going into the DLC next episode, guys. It's going to be fun. The Ashes of Ariandel DLC has one of the best bosses in the Souls series, I believe. Fun boss to fight, although somewhat frustrating if you don't know how to kill her and him. But we're going to use the Demon Fist the rest of the way. Now, take care. If you didn't kill the creature on the bridge, you'll have to fight it in the water here. Not fun to do. So I recommend killing it the first time. Just stick to the left here, and you'll find the entrance to the sewers. And you'll have these witch-type enemies, spider witches or something. They're very weak to fire. They will not last long with our Demon Fist. Plus, we have the Fire Clutch Ring equipped too. We'll be doing even more damage. Not necessary, but might as well. Now, Grey Rat will die in here if you don't do the quest properly. His ashes will be found here. Yeah, real easy to take these guys out with the Demon Fist. Very weak to fire. And we're in water, so it doesn't really make sense, to be honest. Alright, excrement ashes here. All we got left is the Leo ring, and I do like to get the Leo ring because it can be useful with Arbalest. There is Sigurd there. We're not going to talk to him just yet. We'll do that after we do the DLC. There's some knights, silver knights up here. We're not going to fight them. We're just going to run past them for now. There's an archer up and above your head, but you can't see him. He's out of your line of sight right now. But as soon as you start walking in his line of sight, he will start firing. And you got this guy as well. So I'm just going to run past him. We're just going to get the Leo ring and get out of here. There's the archer right there. First chest that you see, just open it and get out. If you want to kill the guys and get the rest of the chests, you can do that, but the Leo ring is the only thing we want. And it's right here. Now we just got to get out. Now we'll just level up one more time. Go get Crichton's set. And go to the DLC. Now let's go to the Handmaiden and give her our ashes. The Grave Warden ashes and the Excrement ashes. Now stress again, if you haven't got Arbalest to +9, do as much as you can to get that sucker to +9. It's going to help you so much in the DLC. Here, I've already done it, so... Or did I not? Oh no, I forgot. Actually, I'm going to do it now. There we go, right here. Arbalest +9. I highly recommend you do this. It's just going to make it that much easier. And we're going to level up for the final time in this episode. 45 is what we wanted to be at, and that's exactly what we hit just before hitting the DLC, so we did exactly what we wanted. Now, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you how to get to the DLC, but we forgot Crichton's set, and we're going to do that before moving on. But you need to go to the Cleansing Chapel bonfire and talk to Gale, the guy that was praying by the altar. We'll see him again. Just answer yes to him. And you'll be transported to Ashes of Ariandel. This is where we'll begin the next episode. Now we're just going to hit the bonfire here, and then we're going to go back to Irithyll's bridge to get Crichton's set, and that will be the episode, guys. Actually, I probably should have went to the other bonfire closer. I think the other bonfire is a little bit closer, the central bonfire, but it's down here in the middle of the bridge. You can't miss it. And that's it. I'll see you guys in part 8, where we will take on the Ashes of Ariandel DLC.